Halloween
Forever.
Hey, we're the Munchies. People say we munch you around. Welcome, boys and ghouls, to a fucking big old Minisode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I'm Steve.
I was sitting there last night watching the movie we're going to talk about today. A spoiler alert, guys, we're watching Munchies. And I couldn't stop singing to myself, hey, we're the Munchies. People say we munchie around. And I was just giggling to myself at the idea of munchie, what munchie around means.
I want to find after this episode like a soundtrack for this film.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's some just weird, silly songs that I feel like
there were so many funny descriptors, like of because I had the captions on when I was watching it on the Tubi, blessed be, and I said multiple times I laughed out loud at what the caption said, which it would just say like in parentheses kooky music. I'd be like, hell yeah, it is.
I think if you find an like a original soundtrack to this. It's gotta have like an a cappella version of dude singing trucking.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like super
or at least that's
off-key.
how it starts, and then you actually go into it. Heck yeah. Like all of them have intros.
It's like the beginning of Living Dead Girl, where he does that like little line from what the fuck Night of the Living Dead. Was it Night of the Living Dead? And then it's like bunches in the music, but bunches in the song, but it's just dude. Just singing off key. Oh, guys, we'll get into the wonderful world of Munchies and its sequels in just a hot old sec here, guys. We did a little Tubi Roulette this week, and Meg was able to spin the old Tubi wheel, if you will, which is just Tubi Roulette. If you don't know what it is, you go onto Tubi. Blessed be our sacred text, Tubi. Go on there, just put your controller into the horror section, and you just scroll for 30 seconds, 30 minutes, whatever. And what you land on, we got to watch. Meg landed on Munchies, which is, again, another example of the Tubi gods blessing us with their abundance. Because I did it first. And I came up with something pretty good.
I think it was called Blood Salvage.
Oh, yeah. It was like Blood Salvage. I was like, oh, this sounds sick. Never saw it before. I was really excited. And then Meg was like, I'm the champ. I get to do the Tubi Roulette. And I was like, all right, fine, whatever. And then she ended up on Munchies. I was like, God damn, I'll take it. I love me some Munchies.
I don't think I saw it on the text what you got. So funny.
Blood Salvage. Yeah, never heard of it. Don't know anything about it. I did put it on my to watch list on the Tubies, but I was like, what the fuck is this? Which is really, in my mind, the best thing that can happen when you do Tubi Roulette is come up with some gnarly bullshit you've never seen before. Any case, that's what we're going to talk about here on this whole big old chunky old sexy old minisode. But before we do that, we got a couple of things we got to do, as we usually do at the top of the show. First of all, if you haven't done it already, fuck you. But I will give you another chance. Go on to the social medias. Follow us on the Instagrams and the Twitters and the TikTokies and all that type of stuff. And help us to, provide some suggestions. Pull your fucking weight around here. This is free. You freeloading dipweed. Submit a suggestion for a topic. Give us a little 5-star review on one of them one of them podcatcher apps, and I'll send you some fucking stickers if you DM me. I don't give a shit. Do some of those things.
Have we hit 10K on you? Oh, we're getting close to hitting 10K on Instagram.
We are. Yeah. And I will admit I have not been as active on the Instagrams in the last probably 8 months as I was before, and that's mostly because I've been working like a motherfucker. But I've been trying to get back up on top of that and post more spooky yuki shit on the internets for you. But go follow us because we are approaching 10,000 followers on Instagram. So go ahead and do that. I would appreciate it. But for those of you who have done your part and are not freeloading pieces of human shit and actually helped us pick our showdown topic for the upcoming garbage month of February, which that's how it's spelled. That's how it's pronounced. Don't at me. Do you guys say It's not February. It's February. All right.
February.
No, not February. February.
Brewery. This is how you come out of dry January. Fred Brewery.
It's not. Exactly.
Man, I'm learning so much. I don't actually remember it because I'm sober.
Well, everyone says February. It's February. And every time, my brother always makes fun of me. He's probably listening to this right now. He had a baby today, by the way. They had a baby today. Yeah, the baby was born.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. She's.
It can't hear you, Meg. It doesn't know.
No, she doesn't know what the hell's going on.
No, what I expect is that
dang
his
old
brother,
baby don't listen to podcasts
his
yet.
brother will actually be playing this come Monday to his child.
I would hope so. If he's any type of brother, he will. But yeah, so in any case, I think he does. He does typically listen to the podcast. But anyway, got a sweet little baby niece.
I'm assuming that the entire pregnancy, the baby has had headphones of our show.
Hopefully its first word is yeet.
Yeah, he had the baby queued up, just only hours before the baby was born. He said that they were. I said, how's it going? How's everybody feeling? They're like, good. We're just sitting here in the hospital watching Roseanne. And I was like, well, that's good. First thing the baby should hear when it comes out into the real world is Roseanne.
Yeah, it should know that exists.
Yeah, that's important. Anyway, why I brought him up, he always makes fun of me for saying February. And I'm like, that's how it's spelled, you dickweed. Anyway, guys, February showdown topic has been decided. Once again, I will remind you, we had a few different topics. And these were all topics that came off our big old spinny wheel of topics that were suggested by our friends and listeners and social media friends, and some of the ones that we popped on there as well. Micro budget gems was one of them. Apocalyptic horror, and then the other one was big old city spookies, which was like urban horror, big city settings, things like that. By a narrow margin, I think only 4 or 5 votes, we have a winner, and it is micro budget gems, guys. So, which I was a little bit bummed because of, was getting some very good suggestions for big city spooky from some of our friends and social media friends and listeners and things like that. Now I got to reconsider because I thought that one was going to win. Yeah. But what was the top? What did we kind of place for the high end? And we say like 300,000 ish.
Yeah, it was the high end. $300,000 or $400,000 is like the top end that we can go for.
Mm-hmm. So we're talking about some real low budget situations that we're going to talk about in February. So tune in next episode, or probably not next episode, because we have an extra month here in January. It's also pronounced January. That is how it's spelled. That's how.
I officially am cutting you off, Brian.
Check that.
Cutting you off. You're done.
Don't fact check that. Don't Google it. So we won't do it next episode. We'll do it the episode after because we got that extra Monday. We will announce what our good old micro budget flicky picks will be for February. All right, let's get into some dang old beers. Who's got beers?
I got beers.
Meg doesn't have beers. She's a fucking
I don't have beers.
Dork. Hey, Dork, what are you drinking,
Wow,
Dork?
you guys are really coming at me.
Dork.
Not complimenting my shirt at all.
It's a sick shirt. It's a sick shirt. It's a horse shirt. Horses rule everything around me. We know this.
This is a birthday gift, so I wore it today. Guys, but I'm drinking this really delicious
I can already see what it
seltzer.
is. It's the goddamn Aldi seltzer. Yeah,
no, it's Polar.
No,
Polar rules.
It's Polar.
I buy Polar at Aldi. No,
well, you can get it at Aldi, but
I don't. You can't. I haven't seen this flavor. Orange vanilla.
Ooh, that don't sound too bad.
It's a good mixer seltzer, but right now, I'm not mixing it with shit. So
no.
Polar used to wow out the same way, like they used to wow out with like crack beer. They had like one that was like unicorn farts or some shit like that.
Who did?
Oh,
Polar did.
Yeah.
Polar? Polar Pop people?
Mm-hmm. They had like a unicorn kisses.
I was wondering what that was.
No shit.
I've seen those.
Yeah, they've had a bunch of goof ass. They've had mermaid songs. They had Yeti Mischief as one.
Wait, beers?
Ooh. No, just Polar Seltzer. They used to wow out the way craft beer does.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
So they had Yeti Mischief and Dragon Whispers.
No shit.
Yeah, crazy.
No, I've only ever had some standard ass flavors that I get at the Aldi, like a grapefruit and whatnot. But I do like a Polar Pop. Is that the same people who make Polar Pop?
Yep.
Yeah.
All the same. Because it's got the bear on it.
Yeah, got the dang old bear on it. They do like all kinds of like super neon blue pops and whatnot. And I like it in a good old styrofoam container. It really makes it go down easy.
They make a good ginger beer that I enjoy.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love a soda. I like a damn pop. Wish it didn't kill you as much.
I feel like though, in not drinking, I have craved like sweeter things. Like at the end of my workday, instead of like I had the shrub, but we also have some of those red ribbon sodas at work and the mint ginger.
Oh yeah.
They do a nice job.
Spot. And I'm like, I never drink soda this that much.
Yeah. See, I'm a big root beer boy. I love a root beer. God damn, I love a root beer. Cream soda, sarsaparilla, and I love that. Especially if I can go get like a good like Italian sub and have a fucking root beer with it. Hot damn, that's a good lunch.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's that quote from? I don't even know what movie it is, but me and my friend used to always say this, which was grilled cheese and a weak cup of tea. That's the best lunch in my book. I don't remember what it was from.
You're like whistling through your teeth on that too.
Yeah. It was some old guy quote from a show or something. I don't remember.
I thought you were going to say, give me a Diablo sandwich and a Dr. Pepper and make it quick. I'm in a goddamn hurry.
I'm in a goddamn hurry. No, this was from, I don't remember. I mean, I don't think it was a Simpsons quote, but it's something like that.
It might. That could be a Simpsons or a Family Guy.
Yeah, something like that. I think it was a card. But in any case, I love old man shit. You know what I mean? You know me. I like a cardigan. I like a good old fashioned lager beer, and I like a sarsaparilla.
Yeah, all right.
What are you drinking, Steve? Yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right. Well, then I'll make you happy for a change, Brian.
Yeah. No, don't toy with my emotions.
I'm drinking a Rathaus.
Oh, Rathaus Pils.
No, not the pills.
No, not the pills. It was all blurry.
I know. It's all this fucking camera don't focus right. No, it's the ice apple. The icicles Märzen.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I love their beer. And that Rathaus Pils, when it's fresh, ooh, goddamn killer. Just a killer. Surprise, surprise. I am also drinking a Pils, but I'm drinking a little one of these guys. Little Pikeland Pils. Because that's what I damn old have. Actually, I was planning on going... Yeah, I was planning on going to Creekside today, getting some beer. Ran out of time. Going to try to do it tomorrow. But I was at the brewery, Pittsburgh spot last night for a little meeting. And I was on my way home and I was like, dang, I'm headed out of here. They had a new stocking cap, a little beanie, grabbed me a beanie. I was like, you know what? Give me a 6-pack of them pills before we go. Cause I need some pills in my life right now. Yeah. So, that's it, right? We're about to get into this dang old flick. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing too special about the beers we're drinking. They're just fucking lagers down the chute.
Drinking some loggies. Meg's over here. We did not clarify, if you have been listening, Meg's doing dry January.
Silence. Like no one, everyone at home is clapping for me. Like they're really excited.
Because I just did this kind of like head turn. Like, isn't she special?
Isn't that nice?
Oh, isn't that nice? Isn't that cute? You get your merit badge for not drinking booze.
I do. I get a patch at the end of the month. I'm going to sew it onto a vest.
Nice.
It's pretty sick. Nice. You don't get one.
Joe Brandon sending out patches for everybody in January.
Joe Brandon out here sending out precipitation pro trophies. All right. Anyway, guys, let's get into just a real old classic flick. And guys, this makes perfect sense, but I did not realize this. I've probably seen this movie. This might be the third time. This is a good, like, hanging out, getting super baked with some friends, throw on in the background type of movie.
Yeah.
But I've probably seen Munchies probably 3 times. Is this your first experience with Munchies? Steve, I'm going to assume no.
Actually, no, it's the first time I've seen this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like some people, they only have so much room in their world for like little guys movies, and like so.
Yeah.
Everybody has
you have
room for
something
gremlins.
against
Steve's a
little
big guy.
guys?
Steve's a big guy. He's real anti-little.
Yeah.
He's talked about this in the past. He doesn't respect short people.
Not at all. But so like everybody has room in their heart for gremlins.
Yes.
And then like you kind of only go down one or two other lanes, and it's like I was a critters, so I didn't have room for other little guys in my life. She was like in the critters.
You've seen the Ghoulies. Come on, I'm sure you've seen.
I know
Ghoulies.
I've seen ghoulies for sure. Yeah, as well. Yeah, I've made
Have
room
you seen
in my
a
heart.
hobgoblin?
Yeah. But that's also that falls under Mystery Science Theater, and they pushed that onto me.
Oh, okay, yeah. That was a very good episode.
Yeah,
that was a good episode.
I have never seen hobgoblins on its own.
I have, guys. I wear that as a badge of honor. Meg, have you seen Munchies before? Is this your first?
My first go,
trip
y'all.
down Munchie Lane?
First time down trip down Munchie Lane.
That sounds like your first time with a woman. Like that's your first time, like lesbian experience. Trip down Munchie Lane.
I went on down the Munchie Tan.
Went down to Munchie Town.
I don't think we can not make jokes like that this entire episode.
Yeah. Munchies is from the year of our Lord, 1987. I did not realize when I started saying this at the beginning and then got off on a tangent, but the thing that I was surprised to learn this time, well, this is the first time I think I've really paid attention to Munchies. It's an easy movie to just look at your phone while it's on.
Yeah.
This is the first time I really paid close attention to it and saw some pretty interesting things. And one of them is I didn't realize, but it makes perfect sense that this is a Roger Corman flick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I just never had any reason to figure out who produced this movie or pay attention to the credits. But this is, of course, a Roger Corman flick. Not surprising there. It is full on. We're going to try to cash in real quick on the whole Gremlins craze.
See, and we could maybe get into it later in the episode, but I feel like I've been forming a number of conspiracy theories around this film.
Okay.
Because of all the things I've noticed and saw as I watched it, even though it was my first time, there's a whole bunch of things that just like stuck out like sore thumbs.
There's
to me.
some weird little Easter eggs in this movie.
Yeah. And then I got deeper into it and I found more things.
Oh, well, you probably found more things than I did. I just kind of spotted some, out of the corner of my eye in the background of a couple of things, which I'm sure we'll talk about here. But in any case, so listen, I have absolutely no desire to go plot point by plot point with this movie. I will say that it has a tremendous cast. None of them are like, probably only one you will immediately recognize, which is Harvey Korman, who you will know from a lot of like Mel Brooks movies. He was in Blazing Saddles. He plays Hedley Lamar in Blazing Saddles, which is, one of these kind of the main villain. He's hilarious. He's been in tons of different things. I think he was on the Carol Burnett show. He's a fantastic comedian and comic actor, and he's fucking hilarious. And he plays the main the father of the protagonist and the main antagonist in this movie in a wig, and it's fucking hilarious. He makes the whole movie, really.
I know. I was gonna say he might have been, as much as I like hated him through the whole film. In a way, I was like, he was hilarious lines. Yeah, most ridiculous. Yeah. I was into it.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing I like about him in this movie is he's one of these guys that's he's gonna give a great performance. He's not gonna phone it in. He's not gonna be a dick and just go like, I'm here for the paycheck. He's gonna be funny because it's just he's in his bones is being funny. You know what I mean? So like, even from the beginning, just dumb shit where it's like the opening scene, it's all about his son, who's this like wannabe comedian asshole. And like, he really doesn't do anything or accomplish anything in the whole movie. But the Harvey Korman, who's the dad, is like some sort of like kind of less reputable, I would say, archaeologist of sorts, who is all about trying to uncover. He thinks like Machu Picchu is an alien like control tower and all this wild shit.
He's a frequent Art Bell caller, is what he is.
Yeah, he does. He would be coast to coast AM at fucking 4 a.m. on there all day long. But he apparently has some money or some connections because he goes out and tries to find evidence of aliens or whatever, right? But in the opening scene where you get introduced to them and the son, who I didn't write his name down. That's how much I couldn't stand this character or this actor. What's his name in the movie? Do you have it up?
Is it Paul?
I think it might have been. I mean, if it's Paul, if it's not Paul, it's Michael or something. You know what I mean? He's Paul. Paul is like shooting. He wants to be a comedian. He couldn't be less funny. But he has a little camcorder and he's, taking film or whatever. And Harvey Korman is kind of talking to him, and he has a baseball glove and he's like throwing a baseball in it, but he's got the glove on the wrong hand. It's just such a stupid little gag that just like, I don't know why they just, it's just some of these things. He didn't have to do that. He's just being silly. Being an old silly guy.
Just a quick right back to Mystery Science Theater though. Every time Paul is on screen and trying to be funny, I just hear the Mystery Science Theater. You're not funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. He's trying to be this 80s stand-up guy, right? Like he's trying to be like, Jerry Seinfeld or Paul Reiser or something. He's trying to be one of these guys. And it's just painful. Because he's also trying to be kind of a heartthrob, likable guy. And he's just none of these things.
Yeah. He is the most non-threatening protagonist I think we've had, and you can definitely tell that like his girlfriend Cindy, she's the alpha.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and she's actually really funny and like charismatic, which just makes him seem more like a head of fucking iceberg lettuce. Like he just is a nothing performer. I know I'm just like really digging in on this guy, but he's so bad. But it almost adds to it because like he just like for them to it just I guess in contrast makes everything else so much wilder because he's just nothing.
Right.
But this one I would say, even though the characters, the titular Munchies, they do not look anything like Gremlins or Mogwais or anything. They talk just like them, and I think this is perhaps the most unabashed attempted ripoff of any of the Tiny Terrors subgenres.
What it like actually reminded me of was just like a racist poor impersonation of an Asian person, like early on.
Which it was ripping off Gizmo. Like he was trying to sound like just like Gizmo.
But hold on. Like all I heard was that.
Hold on. You're saying he's trying to sound. It's literally the same voice actor.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
They literally
went out and got the same guy.
Yeah. The original voice actor for Gremlins was Frank Welker. And like you can look into his he's
a big name guy.
Yeah, he's the most one of the most prolific voice actors ever. But
he did a bunch of like Hanna-Barbera stuff too, didn't he? He's done a ton of stuff.
He's been playing Fred and Scooby for like the past decade or so, if not more. But so you can kind of hear it in the voices. You can definitely hear him doing Mogwai in the beginning, and he's also
when he's in the when he's in the bag, it sounds straight up Gizmo.
Right. And then the other voice that comes in that
that was like cute.
Yeah, the other voice that comes in that like is very clear is Dr. Claw.
Is it?
Yeah, which is another one he did. He did in Dr. Claw.
Next time, Gadget.
Yeah.
Next time.
Yeah, so like if you listen, the main kind of bad Munchie after they get split up is doing Dr. Claw. It's exactly Dr. Claw. So
oh my God, that's so funny. I did that makes this movie. It makes me like this movie even more. Like that it's Dr. Claw. Oh man, there's no character as a child that I just like. I desperately wanted to know what Dr. Claw looked like.
Oh man!
And then they had the action figure, and when they released the action figure, they put like a fucking piece of paper or something in front of it, so you had to buy it to find out.
Yeah, and I've looked it up, and it's disappointing.
It is.
But as a kid, I was like, "Fuck, Dr. Claw, what's he look like? That voice." So you get introduced here to Paul, and what's Paul's girlfriend's name?
Cindy.
Paul and Cindy. Cindy's like fairly, like I said, she's pretty funny. She's like the personality. And I think maybe maybe I'm giving him too much benefit of the doubt here, but it almost seems like Paul wants to be the funny one, but Cindy, without trying, is way funnier than him.
Right.
And I don't know if that's written into the characters. I'm going to guess no, it wasn't.
I would guess no as well. I would just guess that everybody else can act around the person playing Paul. Yeah. Because the person playing Paul, let me look at, he only did like 19 things.
Well, I thought I knew him from something. I was like, oh, he's been in a bunch of stuff. And then I looked him up and I'm like, no, he just looks like other people because he's done jack shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he played just like a lot of, tertiary characters. But like, so Cindy, before Munchies, she was in the original Critters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
she
then,
played the sister. Was she the sister? What was she in Critters?
She played April. So
yeah, I'm trying to remember. I don't remember the names, but Anyway, I remember she was in Critters.
Yeah, but like, I mean, she did a bunch of other stuff, and so like, she's obviously, I'm assuming she's a better actor, and then she just gave it up to be like a producer. But then then you also have Harvey Korman, and like when Paul has to share most of his scenes with Harvey Korman, he looks like ass.
Yeah. And then he couldn't be less of like I said, he might as well be a fucking cardboard cutout in his scenes.
So yeah, and it's a hallmark of Roger Corman films that you just kind of get who's willing to work.
Yeah, it's all right. Let's not worry about balancing these things out, matching energy. No, it's just who's going to do it for the least amount of money and can fit in between two movies, basically.
Right.
Like Harvey Korman probably had 2 other projects going on. They're like, listen, if you come out for 4 days, I will pay you this amount of money. And he was like, right, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Roger Corman gets all his actors.
And then he has like a bunch of his own like people that he calls out that just like always show up in Corman movies. So like he has those hands. He has the people who are willing to just do shit for money. And then he'll put a little bit of money into an actor, which is Harvey Korman for this film.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That is the recipe for the cast of virtually every, Corman flick, but I love the fake commercials in this. Like that makes the whole thing, and they're also, of course, starring Harvey Korman or
Cecil.
Yeah.
Cecil,
Harvey Korman. But Cecil is the bad brother. He plays 2 brothers. One's the weird guy who wants to prove aliens exist, and the other one is this like kind of like wannabe snack tycoon, but he's like a bad guy. Anyway. My favorite one by far, they're all really good, but one is when he's talking about his like steak, his steakhouse that he owns, and he's like, this steak's, and then he turns to the guy who's a patron, his family's sitting there eating, and he goes, this steak's so tender, it doesn't even taste like beef.
It's so weird. What does it even mean?
Well, because I think the idea is that it's like nuclear waste, because that's what he does. You learn it later. He presses nuclear waste. He quote unquote like neutralizes it or whatever, and then he just turns it into like filler for foodstuffs. And that's why he owns like the snack company and this beef jerky company and like all this shit. And I think the assumption is supposed to be that he does that at his steakhouse too.
Yeah, it's weird though, because I mean, like technology like that could neutralize all the poisons of, Agent Orange and radiation and all whatever, that kind of shit. Like, he should be lauded for like making, recycle and reuse. Like, there's a definite anti-corporatism and anti-capitalist nature to this film. And, Cecil, on top of like owning all these different businesses in town, he has this weird Elvis fetish as well.
Yeah, or this like it's Elvis meets like this almost Tim Burton-ish mid-century kitsch type of thing, because it almost feels like the neighborhood in Edward Scissorhands or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they drive a pink like old pointy Cadillac or
right. Well, like Elvis,
it is,
yeah.
Well, yeah, I know, like Elvis, and he's got like the fucking rhinestones on his suit and shit like that. But
and then like it's one of my favorite details of this movie, even on first watch. But it's so weird because it has like a legitimate makes sense backstory. Is like he's obsessed with Elvis, and then for whatever reason he wants to spy on his brother and his brother's family. But the spying...
Well, he wants to own his property.
Yeah, he wants to own his property. So he's like constantly spying to try to buy the property. But like the one thing he gives him an Elvis statue, and the microphone is bugged. And like that just totally makes sense. Like that's the only reason why that thing would exist in that house is it was a gift, but it was also a spying device. And it's like they didn't need to set all that up, but like you just look at the rest of his life with the pink Cadillac. His wife is named Melvis.
Didn't even pick up what her name was.
Yeah, his wife's name's Melvis, and then he has just a bunch of Elvis shit around, and then he has like the bad pompadour hair. So
which the wig like slides down his forehead. And so, so you're introduced to them, introduced to his Cecil's stepson, so his wife's son, which they just called Dude.
But didn't they say he was adopted? And
he was also already a stepson.
Yes, she adopted him, and then now he's Cecil's adopted stepson.
So there's like no blood relation between anybody in the house.
No, and he's like a real shitbird, and he's like a hippie. He just like wants to get high and listen to the Dead and play hacky sack and shit. And Cecil's like this like industrialist, like super greedy, guy who's all about get rich quick schemes kind of thing. So they're obviously at odds with one another. But
that actor had a wild 1987 as well, because he did Munchies and then did Full Metal Jacket.
No shit.
Yeah.
Was he one of the soldiers in
He was
Jacket?
one of the soldiers in the Vietnam section of Full Metal Jacket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he's bad.
He's not good, no.
He's in this movie. Like, I don't remember what character. I mean, Full Metal Jacket, I imagine he did a better job. He's fucking hot trash in this movie. He's not funny. He struggles to deliver lines. Like, he just is really bad. Yeah, you get introduced to this like cop, like who's just he is the like young like wannabe fascist try hard cop in town that looks like a kid wearing his dad's uniform, and probably is because his dad is the chief of police, who his dad is Pete and Pete's dad from the Adventures of Pete and Pete. And he's just like a psycho. He just wants to like baton people and give them tickets and shit like that.
The dad, like as the cop, the only thing that like threw me off, this happened later in the film where he was playing mini golf, but like in his uniform
with his helmet and everything.
It's like these little silly things that you're just like, these feel so eccentric but perfectly fit here.
I mean, the whole mini golf sequence is so fun, and we'll get to that because it really nothing jack shit. Basically, there's two fun scenes early, then a bunch of nothing, and then they get to the mini golf, and then it's fun again. There's a lot of good like slapstick and dumb lines in this. One of the ones I like is the asshole son cop. And he pulls over Paul and Cindy, and he's giving him this whole spiel, and he's dumb as a fucking box of rocks. So they're kind of fucking with him and saying that like, oh, her dad's a CIA agent and they're trying to do something special. And he's getting all excited because he thinks he's going to be able to get, involved in some CIA bullshit or whatever. And then they take off and he's like, boy, if she wasn't so cute, I'd mace her.
Yeah.
Just such a fucked up but weird line. And then the other funny thing was Cecil constantly smacking Dude around, like just beating the shit out of him just casually. Like every time he kept doing the like multiple quick smacks to the face.
And this is like I love this whole exchange because like this is where you see like Harvey Korman is like a real legitimate actor, because it starts with him feeding the fish and Dude asks him for $500, and just the way he turns around, he's so annoyed and he's flicking the last amounts of fish food off his fingernails at Dude. It's just the small little things that makes you go, oh, he's a real actor, and everybody else is standing around with their thumbs up their ass.
He's like, to say he carries these scenes is such an understatement. And then I love just how completely bonkers and stupid it gets. But again, Harvey Korman, like he just fucking sticks it out.
Yeah.
Like they do the whole thing about how, hey, you stupid asshole, you're not even, he's like, haven't I always treated you like a son? He's like, but I'm a stepson. He's like, haven't I always treated you like a stepson? He's like, yeah, you have treated me like a stepson, and then
and he's the entire time he's wrapping a telephone cord around his neck.
Yes, so this is when it goes so crazy. He's slapping him around. He knees him in the balls. He's wrapping a telephone cord around his neck. And then finally he says, basically he has gotten his hands on, he's went over and stolen the Munchie, which the original Munchie has a name. It's like Arnold, I think it is, or something.
Yeah, it's named
Arnold,
after the pig on Green Acres. So
that's right. Because Paul's obsessed with like 50s and 60s sitcoms or whatever. So he names it Arnold, and he says, he says Cecil has stolen it from his brother's house and says, hey, you got to stay here and watch it. And basically dude's like, well, what if I, don't, or, hey, I'm supposed to go to the Hacky Sack Festival or some bullshit. And Harvey Korman just points a gun in his face.
Yeah.
It's like so over the top. Just like, he's a bad guy. He goes from like just kind of being like dismissive and like talking down to his stepson to slapping him, knee him in the balls, to wrapping a cord around his neck, to just pointing a gun in his face because he doesn't want to watch his little monster. It's just so fucking it's so out of control. I forgot to bring this up. We do at least hear where it is heavily insinuated a Munchie is jerking off at one point.
Yeah.
What?
Well, more than one point. It actually happens a couple times.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the one when they're in Paul, he's with Paul and Cindy, and they're hiding him in the bag, and he gives him like a porno mag, and then in the background you just see the whole thing like moving around,
and
you
it's
just
like
hear him
heavy
in there, like,
breathing too. Yeah.
It's like little Munchie jacking off in the bag. It's so weird.
But then it ends with an achoo, as if like like that's how we saved the PG-13 rating or something.
Yeah, it was just a sneeze, but it also like was heavily insinuated that the little Munchie came.
Right.
Like, it's just like so fucking weird.
Because then it also tries to get into bed with them later.
Oh yeah,
so
that's
it's
true.
like he's seen Lady Pussy, now he's out for it. Now he's looking to go to Munchtown.
He's looking to go to Munchtown. They don't call me a munchie for nothing. Yum, 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 yum. Anyway, the foreplay between Paul and Cindy is nauseating.
Yeah.
Like they're just doing bits
in
bed, in like a child's bed.
I thought for just like a little bit, it was possible that Cindy was a lesbian. And that Paul was her beard because he was completely non-threatening and he doesn't know how to sex, so he's not subjecting her to anything really weird.
Yeah.
Like he
just wants to do like tummy sticks and like
like he's
like a weird man child.
Like he soaks, and then he also like plays with ray guns that he has, and that's about it.
He soaks like a Mormon.
Yeah.
The other thing was that was pretty good about this scene I noticed in the background, which I didn't notice before, was, did you see on the lamp the Halloween 3 skull mask?
Oh no, I missed that. I saw like an Evil Dead poster in there.
Yeah, the Halloween 3 skull. I mean, not like a skull mask that looks like the Halloween 3 skull mask. It is the mask. Like I went as far as to like look up a still image on the Googles, and it is the exact mask. Which was kind of an interesting little Easter egg, but I mean, eventually you get to see the Munchies, and you're expecting Gizmo, you know what I mean? But it's not. It's like a weird little hairy man with hair slicked back, but then they also have like almost a Star Wars looking like robe and belt and like bandolier kind of thing on. It's so fucking weird.
This is again another Corman hallmark. I can't tell you where this came from, but I guarantee it came from another production. That it was built for something else. The movie probably fell through, or they gathered up a couple things. Like somebody found the Jawa costumes from Star Wars and slapped it on
a Jawa. It's a little Jawa outfit.
Yeah. And then slapped it on whatever fucking puppet they had for some other thing. Yeah. And maybe repainted it.
And when you say puppet, it is a literal hand puppet. Like in the same way that the cat from Uninvited is a puppet.
Kind of 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Unapologetically.
Yes, it is a hand puppet that like a child would operate. It's not like an animatronic or something like that. And you get into the have you guys seen the sequel? Which I even am hard pressed to call it a sequel because it has almost nothing to do with the movie at all. And it's not Roger Corman, and it's what's his name? The guy who did what's his last name? Starts with a W. The director Jim Wynorski.
Okay.
Yes, does the sequel, which is just called Munchie. And they try to turn it into like a family kid comedy. And they apparently Munchies, this one was like a moderate VHS success, which of course that's how Corman made all his money.
Right.
But they tried to like repackage it as a like kid comedy, E.T. meets the Garbage Pail Kids kind of fucking weird thing in like 92, I want to say. And the character is supposed to be a Munchie, and they literally promote it as the sequel to like the VHS smash hit Munchies.
Oh, okay.
That would be disappointing.
But it's not the weird. So here, listen to this bullshit. It's not. I mean, this movie isn't scary at all. It's 100% a comedy.
Yeah.
The movie Munchie, the quote unquote sequel, is not even categorized as horror. It is just supposed to be, like marketed in the same way like Mac and Me or something like that was marketed. But it's way scarier because the character is so weird, and they give it a much more expressive face, and it looks like not Crash Bandicoot, but what was that other Bubsy? Do you remember Bubsy?
Yeah. I'm looking at it now because you can also find this on Tubi as well. They do actually list it as horror. So
really? Because I remember I watched it not maybe in the last 5 years, and I remember it being like more like trying to be E.T.-ish or whatever. But anyway, I do remember one other thing about it, which is what makes it so creepy.
Oh, God.
Is the Munchie. There's only one of them that I remember, at least for the majority of the movie. Yeah. It's voiced by Dom DeLuise.
Yeah.
And he does a real weird job. And I love Dom DeLuise. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
But he does a real weird job.
Interesting.
And he's like, like kind of talks like kind of creepy.
He's got these like Fonz vibes.
Yes. It's like if Bubsy from like Bubsy 3D also kind of cross paths with like
a T-Bird.
yeah, like it was if Bubsy was like on the off-Broadway version of Grease. Like that's where it is.
Yeah,
it's fucking weird. And then there was another one
about what happened in this time of like our existence, because we were all super young when this was all happening. We had like stuff like Elf, like all the things you guys mentioned. Like why was this being pushed so fucking hard?
Well, because it's because of E.T. and E.T. was such an enormous cultural touch point that for years after that, everyone wanted to create a kid's little alien buddy. Everyone had to into alien, monster, whatever, but you had to have a little kid's cute, but also a little bit weird buddy for kids.
Yeah,
and so that's what
this one actually was still produced by Roger Corman as well.
Oh, I didn't realize he had anything to do with it.
Yeah, executive producer, meaning he fronted the money because he saw the ability to make more VHS sales off this shit. And then also just an interesting note on the Angus Scrim from the Phantasm films.
The Tall Man.
Yeah, he's in Munchie as well. So check that trash out.
Now I'm gonna go check it out again. It's a real dumb movie, but it's weird and it's a fun watch. It's like Munchies. It's a fun watch. Like it's dumb and horrible, but like check it out.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're at the point we get it now. We get the Munchies. They get, if you cut one in half, it grows more Munchies.
Yeah, dude cuts one up with a little knife, and then they all just like ooze and stuff like that, and turn into like bubbly goo. But then they grow up, but they have uniforms on.
Yeah, they still have the uniforms.
And they all know each other.
Yeah, and they have friends. They're like, "Where you been, bro?" And they're like, "It's just it doesn't make any fucking sense."
Let's go grab a beer, buddy.
One of them's named Rudy too.
Like, they all know their names already.
Yeah. Do you think it's like one of those things where like it's like predetermined, what their split off, personalities are going to be? So it's like they lived inside them already.
Are we going to bring religion into this now? Or is every episode going to touch on this?
Listen, all I'm saying is all Munchies go to heaven.
I don't think they go anywhere.
No, yeah, probably not.
No, I think they stay in the statue and then.
Oh, yeah. Well, we haven't gotten that far, but yeah, they turn into statues when they get electrocuted. Guys, don't ask questions. We'll get there.
Don't ask. But this is where we get our first like real this is a Gremlins ripoff. Roger Corman is out there just to steal and make money because they set off on a road trip in an AMC Gremlin.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the Gremlin's license plate also says, "Oh, Gizmo."
Oh, I didn't see the license plate. I did see that it's a gremlin, because even the old lady, which is maybe my favorite scene in the movie, where the old lady she's been in a bunch of stuff. I think she's from wasn't she in The Wedding Singer?
Yeah, she's the rapping granny in Wedding Singer.
She's the rapping granny in The Wedding Singer. She's been in a bunch of stuff.
I just want to know why she has all those little like, what are the like little what, I don't know what kind of like little firecracker thing they're called. Like
I don't know. I just know
at their windshield. What are those called?
Yeah, like little popper things.
Yeah, like how does Granny have them?
I don't know. Granny gets down. Why does she have like a fucking like 70s muscle car?
She knows how to drive it too.
Because it's made of steel and it'll keep her safe.
Well, and that's the thing that she kind of jokes. She makes something about like, I'm not going to let a car made by American Motor Company do that to me or something like that. Like she makes some
run
reference
off the road by an American Motors Company car.
Yeah. But this is probably one of my favorite scenes, which is where the Dr. Claw Gremlin puts a shotgun out the window of their, or not, he's not a gremlin, he's a munchie, window of their gremlin, blasts several times the car and then makes it explode. And then that's where my favorite line in the whole movie is "We're the Munchies."
Yeah.
I love that in this movie
he used the phrase
"We're the Munchies."
Yeah.
Hey, we're the Munchies.
Hey, that's us. That's what we do.
A T-shirt that says "We're the Munchies," but it's Brian's face on it, stuffing it with snacks.
And I'm just sitting there like this into the microphone, going,
"Yeah, exactly. You got it."
I will kill you,
Steve. If Steve cut this out, I am eating right now. But he's going to try to cut this out, but he can't, or this part won't make sense. I'm a munchie. I like to munch. That's what I said. Steve always gets mad at me for eating on the show, but I am a real life munchie. I need to be munching, especially while watching Munchies. There's just candy wrappers and shit all over my desk. It's fucking disgusting.
He needs to go to Munchtown.
I got it. I live on the highway to Munchtown, baby. Yeah, so that's one of my favorite scenes. I mean, it makes no fucking sense. They explode the old lady's car. There's so much gunplay, oddly, in this movie.
Yeah,
which you wouldn't expect. Well, I think we already skipped over the part where the Munchies hold Paul and Cindy like at gunpoint, and then Cindy decides to do like a Bugs Bunny style like strip tease thing to like distract them.
Yeah.
But then Paul just goes up and puts a trash can over them, and then they're just like, well, that's that. Movie over. And then of course they just blow the trash can off because it's like, what the fuck is a trash can gonna do? It's just it's such a metal weird loony. No, it was literally like a Rubbermaid trash can. And it is just, I mean, it's a Looney Tunes bit, literally.
This is where it fucking gets boring though, because like after this, like nothing happens.
Well, and there's so many scenes through this like middle part that just go on exponentially longer than they should. But they're just padding it out.
I mean, but I understand this entire like next sequence though, because they're just being rascals. I just get it.
I know. And Meg gets that rascal culture.
We're just showcasing the rascal culture.
Yeah. Meg's on a big rascal advocacy kick in 2023.
It's her resolution. It's her 2023 resolution. She said, rascal, I'm going to be a rascal. So she gets these guys. She knows that they're being rascals. They're being rude. They're shooting guns. They're harassing old women. They're biting people. They're looking at pornography.
yeah. Just doing classic rascal behavior.
I bit someone again. Whoops.
Meg bit somebody, stole some porno mags, ran somebody off the road. Just all rascal shit.
Yeah.
Knocked
down a bunch of bikers.
That's how we explain the next 20 minutes of this movie. Maybe 40, 30.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good chunk of it. It's just them doing little rascal shit. And then the fucking Paul and Cindy chasing after them and cleaning up the mess.
It's not a car chase. It's more like
it's like a road trip movie. It turns into almost
that's what I was gonna say. Smokey the Bandit, almost
Smokey the Bandit or Cannonball Run, Mad World. It turns into that kind of thing of like we're gonna chase the Munchies across country,
but they're always one step behind them. They get to a place and they see a bunch of people like with their car like flipped over and they're all like in a pond or a creek and they're just like, which way did they go? And they all go that way. And they all like,
that's where the Munchies went. Because it's just like a series of skits. Like more like, I think it's more like Cannonball Run or Cannonball Run 2. That they're just like a series of skits. And then, because we have the old ladies, we have the bikers, and then we get into just various businesses like the ice cream shop and the burger town and shit like that.
Yeah, this is one of the times when the captions read, I believe it was in quote, like in parentheses, fast-paced, silly music playing, or maybe it was zany music. It was like it was a weird adjective, and I was like, yeah, that is that's exactly what's happening. I also
hope that's on the record too.
Track 1, fast-paced zany music.
I actually want to find a vinyl of this. If someone can help me out,
just to get that really awesome, like you want those clicks and hisses and the zany music.
Yeah, you really want the fidelity of the Munchies soundtrack.
Can we have a real quick conversation about the dude's death? How did he die, or did he just get his ears hurt by loud music? What the fuck happened?
Oh, I feel like weren't the Munchies in his
they say
house?
He's dead. Yeah, like so the one Munchie he's supposed to be watching, but he's of course not. He's just like listening to Grateful Dead, and
I think he got his dick munched off, and I think he bled out. Like that's how I interpret it, because they didn't show it.
That's more of a fanfic situation. Like that's not even a little bit what happened. What happened was he was sitting like after he chopped up the one Munchie, and he's in pain because I think he got stabbed in the leg or some bullshit.
He got stabbed.
Happened.
He got bit. He got
He was a little bit dicked up, and he goes over and sits down in his listening chair, puts on his headphones, and then now the one Munchie that has now become like 3 or 4 Munchies go over and turn his stereo the whole way up, and he screams as if it's like destroying his brain, but he's making no effort to take the headphones off.
Right. He just lets it happen.
Yeah, it's such a lame
maybe
scene.
we didn't see them like put glue on the headphones and he couldn't.
This is also in line with his character though, because if you remember, Harvey Korman was trying to choke him with a telephone, and he didn't do anything to stop that either.
That's true. He just is the type of guy who just accepts his fate.
Yeah, dude might have been supposed to be calling a hotline. In like logging on the BetterHelp, but no, he wasn't. He just let it happen to him.
Yeah, you know what, dude?
I mean, I want to go out that way.
The dude abides by all things that happen to him. Yeah, so that was a pretty stupid scene, especially after he was like, he was a big part of the first third of the movie.
Yeah.
And then they just give him this very unceremonious, just scream with headphones on death.
Yeah, maybe literally he had to quit this film to go do Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, probably something like that happened where he's just like, okay, we're just gonna have to make it seem like that part killed him because we don't have that guy anymore.
I got hired by Kubrick. Fuck off, nerds.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to be on a Kubrick film. He put on fucking some shades and rode off on a motorcycle. But,
double guns, middle fingers as he left. Absolutely not. Not doing doing this anymore.
Yeah. I did like the scene where when it right off the bat, when he dude starts mixing it up with the one munchie, and he gets just a rifle, like where the pool cues should be by the pool table. It's just rifles.
Yes.
Not in a case, nothing. Just like, and it made it like led me to believe that maybe they play pool with rifles instead of cues.
Sure,
or
why
they
not?
replaced the cues with the rifles,
Yeah.
Or maybe they're mixed in.
Or maybe it's like one of those like hidden cue things where like they just pull it out of like the barrel.
Oh, I see. It's like one of those things
like,
where you have
like
a cane.
Yeah, with a knife in it.
My cousin used to have a pool cue that screwed in as a cane.
Oh, okay.
He bought it at a flea market or something like that.
So all of these things are probable, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. And then he would be, when we go down to the bowling alley to play pool, he would bring that down there with him like he was a cool guy. Turns out not cool.
So, but he was not like Uncle Phil in that episode of Fresh Prince where he hustled.
Oh, where he schools everybody? Yeah.
He was not like that?
Yeah. No, he was not like that. He was the opposite of that. Little tiny white kid who wasn't very good and like not cool at all. But another good line related to dude that I had to write down was when Cecil is telling Melvis or whatever his wife's name is, like basically like, why'd you adopt dude? He's like, he's a dumbass. And she's like, well, I guess I felt sorry for him because he was so ugly and stupid.
Yeah. Like there's and again, that might just be after he's left set to go beyond Full Metal Jacket. They're like, fuck this guy.
Thinking. When it was after he left, they were like, well, we're going to throw that because he bailed on us.
Yeah.
I'd be so tickled to learn that that's exactly what happened.
What an asshole that guy is.
Yeah, that guy's a piece of shit. Let's call him ugly and stupid. Let's like literally rewrite this part of the script. Yeah. I say like the best thing about the Munchies, like the thing that differentiates them from some of these other tiny terror type of characters is that they speak perfect English. Mm-hmm. Like they don't speak in like broken like one words or noises. They speak full on English. Mm-hmm. They have conversations with one another. Like there's no like pantomiming things. It's just like they just talk to each other.
Well, pantomiming is a lot of that's a lot of puppet work. Pantomiming.
Well, that's kind of what but that's kind of what the Gremlins do a little bit. Like they do a lot of like physical communication, body. Oh yeah, not pantomiming, more like body communication.
Yeah, no, I know body what you're saying, but also still, these puppets aren't equipped to do that, so they had better speak English.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they just have to talk because they're basically like fucking lamb chop. They're basically like Daniel Tiger level puppets.
Yeah, whereas like in Gremlins, like
Henrietta Pussycat level puppets here.
Whereas in like Gremlins, Spike would point at something. And he would just, like point at a torch and be like, fire. And then like everybody gets it. Or like, oh, we're going to set something on fire. No, these have to say, I'm Dr. Claw and I'm going to shoot a gun at you.
What if he actually says
because
that?
That's what's happening next.
I'm Dr. Claw. I'm Dr. Claw.
I bet there's outtakes of him doing Next Time Gadget.
Next Time Gadget. So we do get, you get the explanation of, the toxic waste and, Cecil kind of explaining that he's, I think he goes as far as to say that toxic waste is America's greatest resource. And he, and he makes all of his products out of toxic waste. And he also gets paid to like take it away from like these factories, and then he stores it in like these underground caves or whatever, and then he uses it for all manner of foodstuffs.
This kind of like, honestly, it's like Cronenberg-esque. I thought about it earlier and we just like kept moving, so I didn't get to say it, but it's like whatever he's making, it's like these, especially like specifically crimes of the future.
Yeah.
Like with like the plastic and stuff, like eating the
plastic bars. Yeah. But he's just feeding it. It's like a cross between that and like I don't know, Soylent Green or something, where they don't know what they're eating and sustaining them. Because he has like all these commercials where it's him like standing there with a little kid and he's like, made from good, honest California products. And all this stuff.
Because he's selling like one's like Cal Snacks, which is like that's the completely ambiguous what is in this. Like nobody knows what it is, but everybody loves it.
Mesquite flavored snack or something.
Yeah. And then like he has RTDs, which was pretty advanced, and then he has
he does
and then,
or they call them wine coolers, but wine cooler. It's only a matter of time before we start crushing wine coolers again. Meg's probably already on the wine cooler game. That seems like something you'd be down with. The Bartles and James. You fuck with the Bartles and James.
Maybe I'll bring it back come February, New year, new me. Fuck beer. Let's just say it. Let's just go ahead and say it. Bring on the wine coolers.
Them spritzers. Hell yeah.
Dude, I'd fuck with a spritz though.
Let's put it on the book. Seagram September.
Seagram September. Yeah. Hell yeah.
September. We're just drinking 7 and 7s and then wine coolers.
No, that's what July's for. That's when they got that red, white, and berry out.
Hell yeah!
Didn't other Steve 2, Steve version 2? He's
Steve 2 was drinking red, white, and Mary,
which is just
Christmas.
the rebranded red, white, and berry. Yeah, he loves to see. He loves it. Or those are Smirnoff. Never mind. Those are Smears.
Yeah,
that's it.
So there's another in this conglomeration of chase scenes happening, and I think it's occurring at the same time where Cecil's explaining how beef jerky is the same as toxic waste. Melvis is reading the Weekly World News, and
okay,
and it's
I knew she was reading some, but I didn't look at what she was reading.
Yeah, I'm almost sure it's a Weekly World News, but or it might have just been a paper they made, but on the very back of the paper, it's directly in frame. And there's a picture of like a Sphinx cat that's all gnarly and gross and shit. And it just says big on the headline, Gremlin with the question mark.
I did not see that. Yeah. It's unabashed. It truly is. And then, I mean, we're kind of there too, is we go to this ice cream shop that's inhabited by, this family that is running this ice cream shop, and we get a nice little cameo, which it's like an extended cameo from this family, and the dad is Robert Picardo, who has been 100 million things. He's fantastic. He's in The Howling. He's in everything, but he is also plays a fairly prominent role in Gremlins too.
Yeah, and this is where I started getting conspiracy-y. And I started really looking more into it, because also in this scene is Wendy Shaw, and she's playing the mom. She's the blonde lady in this.
Yeah.
And if you go into her IMDb profile, her like one of her big claims is that she constantly works with Joe Dante. So while she's not,
I'm looking in there. There's a lot of stuff actually.
While she's not in Gremlins 2, she's in Inner Space, The Burbs, Small Soldiers. She also happens to be the voice of Francine on American Dad, if you ever watch that.
She also Robert Picardo was in Inner Space too.
Yeah, Robert Picardo. So like the two of them work with Joe Dante pretty consistently. And this is where I started wondering, what is this film really? Is this film Roger Corman being a rascal that he is? Because we've seen it in Carnosaur. The way he incorporated Jurassic Park things into Carnosaur and somehow got Carnosaur out before Jurassic Park. So so we've seen that. But then is it also possible, with how much Joe Dante hated Gremlins 2 and didn't want to do it, is this like an original script that got snuck out of Warner Brothers? Like, was this supposed to be the original idea for Gremlins 2 of it being a road movie?
Yeah.
And then like
could have been
somehow like he either Dante snuck it out or like leaked it, to Corman, and Corman's like, yeah, I'll do that. I'll put it out faster.
Or Dante was like, you take this script, you rip it off, you give me a cut, I'm going to spend all their money.
Yeah.
On this wild ass Gremlins 2 script that I'm working on here.
Yeah. I have this theory. I have a theory that both Picardo and Shaw went in to like auditions for Gremlins 2, and then like they tattled. And so that's why they got roles in this film, but then were also rewarded later on by Joe Dante, because he's like, yeah, I don't want to do that fucking movie. Tell Corman, get Corman a script. Leave it to him.
We'll give it to Corman. He'll make a fucking shit show out of this whole thing.
Give it to Corman. He'll give it to this other guy who, like, the writer on this film doesn't have a whole lot of credits or anything. He was doing stuff for money, so he just gave it to that guy. That guy rewrote a couple things here and there. And then
just enough where they're not going to get sued.
And then they made it and got it out before Warner Brothers could make Gremlins 2 proper.
Yeah, it's very likely. I mean, Carnosaur is a great example of Corman. Corman's got back channeling down to a science.
Absolutely. And then the director of this film is the editor of the original Gremlins movie.
I didn't know that either. Yeah, there's a lot more connections than I thought here. And I mean, I'm even looking back, like there's so many. I mean, you'll notice, I think that Paul's dad, which he just comes back like for a minute at the end, is played by Paul Bartel, which you'll recognize immediately. Paul Bartel's in a million things, especially Steve, like Death Race 2000. He's in, he is in Chopping Mall. He's one of the two, like, along with, what's her name? Who they're at the beginning when they're actually like demonstrating.
I know who you're talking about.
What's her name? Her last name starts with a W.
Oh, I can't remember it, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
She's fantastic. She's a fucking legend. She's in a million things, and I'm just blanking on her name right now. But they're like the people at the beginning that are like kind of doing this. Mary Warnoff.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, they are the like two little like ones like kind of cracking wise at the beginning. Her and Paul Bartel, but he is in just so many freaking things that there is a million kind of overlaps with other performers and writers and editors and stuff.
And he's also like Corman's hand. Like he's a guy that Corman can just call anytime and he'll just show up, especially for like
and Joe Dante too. Like he was in Rock and Roll High School, which Joe Dante directed or co-directed or something like that, I think. Or maybe produced, I don't know. He had something to do with that. He was in Piranha. Like he's a Corman guy and a Joe Dante guy.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll just show up whenever
like that.
So yeah, I think you gotta wonder, like, is this Joe Dante's first attempt to sabotage Gremlins 2? And then they made him make the other one, because again, like you go back to all the anti-corporatism and all the toxic waste and all that kind of stuff that shows up, and like kind of the ACAB mentality of like how cops are stupid and everything. That kind of rings a Joe Dante.
Oh, he's in so many. I mean, so many movies have, like, he was on Amazon Women on the Moon, which has some of the same themes and is co-directed by Joe Dante. And I'm just looking back through some of these. It's actually kind of wild how like incestuous these people who, you know, were kind of working on all these movies together is. So like it just feels extremely likely that something like this happened. Like it doesn't even feel like almost like a conspiracy theory as much as like just connect the dots. It feels like that's probably what happened.
Like it's one of those things, like nobody will come out and say it because Warner Brothers could probably still sue them or something. But you know, like I bet if you get like Robert Picardo or Joe Dante in a quiet room and just like ask them, like, what'd you guys do? What was this?
They'd be like, oh, hell yeah, of course. But, the writing's on the wall.
Yeah. There is one other cameo in this that I don't.
I got to say, Paul Picardo's little bit of him passing out is very funny. He just keeps saying two words and then passing out again.
He's like, I'm fine.
And then he just keeps losing consciousness. Great bit.
Yeah. There is one other cameo in the cast, so I wanted to point out. It's when we go to the Burgerland, the manager. He's literally in it for 3 seconds. You won't recognize his face. It's just something I found doing research to prove my conspiracy. But the manager of the Burgerland is Chip Heller, and he is one of the goon deputies from Jack Frost.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, just a fun connection for our show since we did Jack Frost last month.
Yeah, very cool. I love the scene of when Picardo's character is getting bitten by the munchie, and Paul's just fucking standing there watching it happen. It's such a weird scene where they just didn't give him anything to do, and he is such a shit actor that he didn't know how to like seem scared, so it looks like he's just watching it happen.
Yeah.
Like not like couldn't be less of a like character of action.
Like he's not scared. He's not panicking in a way like he's trying to find something to get the munchie off of him. No, he just watches it happen. Goes,
he's just indifferent to what's happening.
Sucks that it happened to
lame.
you.
Not my problem. Yeah, it's just he's such a bad character. But then this is when like pretty much not long after this. I mean, you get to see Munchies wearing a lot of sunglasses, which is always fun, but really a lot doesn't happen for a long time. But then when they get back to, for some reason, I mean, one of his many business enterprises, Cecil, I don't remember how they say it, has, I guess, created the state's first 36-hole mini golf course, and he's really proud of it. And so the whole most of the climax of the movie takes place, or the kind of run up to the climax of the movie. Most of the third act happens on this mini golf course, and you're just getting Munchies shenanigans on a mini golf course, which is the whole movie. Makes the whole movie.
Yeah.
They're drinking, smoking, fucking sword fighting, just doing wild shit. Zany sound effects. It's like, wow. Like, it's just all this wild Looney Tunes shit happening. And it's just like, if you're not having fun during this part of the movie, like, I hate you. You suck.
It's what everything built up to, because like pretty much all the other characters that you met along the way are also at the mini golf, so
the cops are there, everyone's there. And there's so many shots of like them just throwing the puppets up in the air and shooting it in slow motion.
Yeah.
Like there's probably 5 shots at least of that.
And then you have the second instance of Munchies going to Bait Town. You have the one that's in the bushes, and he's watching the blondes from earlier when they were at the swimming hole that they had chased and sexually harassed.
Topless. Yeah.
But you're watching them bend over in panties, and he's in the bush just going, "Oh yeah, I can't wait to tell the other guys. Oh boy."
Yeah, and they don't just make noises; they literally say shit like that. Yeah. So you're getting you get another scene. Eventually, you get another scene of Cecil cutting one of them up with like clippers, and of course it grows into some other ones. There was another great scene, I think right after this. It's when they do like descend into the like tunnel where the underground kind of warehouse or tunnels or whatever where he keeps all his waste that he uses in all these food products. And they have one of his products is called cheesy squeeze or cheese squeeze or something like that. And his wife is like, if somebody tries to give her some, and he's like, cheese squeeze makes my eyeballs itch. I laughed out loud at that one. Like suggesting that it's made of like fiberglass or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she's always like, she's always opposed to any of the food that he's trying to feed her. Like at any point, like when they go to Burgerland, she's like, no, that gives me indigestion. Like the food is bad.
Yeah. She knows it's poison. I think that's
what
like
she ordered. She just wanted like lettuce and tomato on a bun.
Yeah. I think that's like her idea. That's their way of communicating that she's like complicit in all this. Like that she knows it's all bad and she won't eat it, but she will happily, live off of, the wealth that he's generated by selling all this bullshit. So,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, she gets a pink Cadillac. She's got a bunch of paintings. And did he change her name to Melvis, or did he just marry her because her name is Melvis?
Her name is Melvis. Yeah, that's a great idea. I got a feeling there's not enough backstory to this character where there's a definitive answer on that. Yeah. But I like to pretend that he asked her to change her name. That would be even better. But yeah, so they do ultimately learn in a, kind of scrambling around topsy-turvy little like not fight scene, but where Paul's getting kind of chased by them, and then he gets a hold of this like severed electrical wire and tries to electrocute one of them, and he ends up touching it to like this conveyor belt or something one of them's on, and electrocutes one of the Munchies. And we learned that when you electrocute a Munchie, it turns into like an idol from Legend of the Hidden Temple, like one of those little idols that you find.
Yeah.
You get a little prize.
Yeah. And it doesn't make any sense. We don't know why. If it's it's some sort of ancient alien creature. So maybe, I don't know. It doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Yeah. It's never clear if they're actually aliens or if they were just always here and there's some weird,
ancient civilization or
aliens
something.
Have always been here though,
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that,
Hence
but I just don't know.
ancient aliens.
Yeah, he Brian said it.
Brian said the thing. He said the line.
He said the thing. It's ancient aliens. It's literally what the show's called. But he does. Ultimately, they electrocute all of them, and then he what's he do? He disposes of them somehow. I didn't write it down, except he keeps one.
I don't remember him disposing of any of them. I thought he just took the one.
Didn't he throw them somewhere? I'm trying to remember.
Where would you throw them though?
I don't remember. Maybe I'm imagining that.
Instead of smashing all of them like they did, they could have probably made a lot of money as like substituting them for gargoyles in front of houses. For people into making money, missed opportunity.
And there's like, as well as I do, that there's an enormous demand for gargoyles in the Southwest,
right.
like in front of people's houses. But yeah, they do. They almost look like these little like portions of like a totem pole or something. Anyway, he decides he's going to hold on to one of them to give to his dad. And his dad comes back, and then the dad. This is where Paul Bartel comes in. He's some relation to, isn't he? He's like a.
He's a professor.
He's like a museum curator or something. I don't know. Rich science guy comes and goes, I'll give you $25,000 for that. And they're just like, hell yeah, all our problems are solved. And I'm like, even in 1987, that's not enough for all of your problems to be solved. But also maybe get the money before you sell, or get that in writing, do something.
Right.
Because it just really was like, they were just like, okay, cool, here you go. And then he just walks away. He's like, oh, sick.
He walks away, puts it in his shitty pickup truck, which is an odd thing for a college professor to show up in.
A fancy boy like him to be, to be driving, and then drives off into a lightning storm, I guess, which is going to strike it and reverse it. I don't know if I guess that's what you're meant to believe. And then the Munchies are going to come back and do more munching, guys. That's Munchies 1987. Anything else you want to discuss on Munchies? Was there anything else we missed? We skipped over?
No.
This movie was silly, but now I want to. I definitely need to put it on the docket to rewatch it in like the next month, just to like even just pick up on all the other little things.
It's a great one to just throw on in the background. And
I
I've
would
done
definitely
that
watch
a
it
number
while
of
I'm on
times.
shrooms. It'll go on that list as well.
Yeah, Munchies, it's great. You're never going to not laugh at Where the Munchies. You're never going to not laugh at, I just think I felt bad for him because he was so ugly and stupid. Like just lines like that. There's a lot of good lines in it.
Oh, wait.
And Harvey Korman's great.
The one thing we skipped over, and it's such a weird thing, is the Burgerland employees are all little people.
Oh, yeah. I did kind of just jump over. I don't know. Bold decision. I wonder, it had to have been, knowing Roger Corman, like it had to be like happenstance. That just like he happened to have this like crew of like little people who were maybe working in another film, and he was just like, well, we can get these people. And they're like, well, why would there be? He's like, well, let's just make them all work in the same place. And then it's like,
yeah,
that somehow makes some sort of logical sense.
I mean, they're all there for like maybe a day or two of shooting because they're only filmed in the Burgerland and then they run out of the Burgerland. So, yeah. I don't know.
Weird movie, guys. Real weird movie. That's one of my favorite things about these Roger Corman flicks is just unpacking all the weird decisions, because that the decisions were practical in some way, because, we know what his MO is. And so it is always fun to unpack why you think the behind the scenes, like speculate about the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah. I mean, go back to our Carnosaur episode. That's another fucking Roger Corman just doing things to save money, but also for some reason stick it to Hollywood in some sort of way.
Yeah,
because he got who is it? He got Laura Dern's mother to star in his Jurassic Park knockoff. So
right, yeah. Which guys, I don't know if you any of you are professional football fans out there at all, but there is a quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. His name is Trevor Lawrence. He looks exactly like Laura Dern.
Oh, wow.
Just Google him. Just Google him.
Okay.
Check it out. He's hot as fuck.
What's his name?
Just Trevor Lawrence. Just Google it real quick.
I didn't even need to finish typing that.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't he look just like Laura Dern
to
me?
Yeah.
With a thick fucking neck.
Wow, he's a professional football player.
Right.
But he looks as much like Laura Dern as a professional football player could possibly look.
If Laura Dern could take a hit.
Yeah. But anyway, on that note, guys, that has been 1987. Munchies, guys, go check it out on the Tubi. It's free. Don't cost you nothing. Also, once again, go follow us on the social medias so you know what our pickies are going to be, just in case you get behind, heaven forbid, on a couple of episodes, you're fucking slacking, you're not keeping up on it, and you forget, and then you don't know what movies to watch for the showdown before they come out. Avoid all that. Follow us on the social medias. We are going to be doing some micro budget gems for our showdown episode in 20 and 23 February. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, next episode, which is going to be another little mini-sode, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're not going to talk about a specific movie. We're actually going to talk about a whole bunch of movies that are slated to come out in 2023 in the old horror genre that we are excited to watch, because there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out. Listen, we're living in a time that's like a fucking embarrassment of riches for horror fans. So might as well talk about some of the ones we're super excited about for 20 and 23. So tune in for that on next week's Minisode. Anything else I'm forgetting?
Nope.
No, that's about it. All right. Well, for the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I'm the Munchies.
We're the Munchies. Bye.